Hello, I'm Master Sergeant Christopher T, and welcome to the AFODS Drill and Ceremonies Instructional DVD. There are 5 chapterized areas: Introduction, Basic Drill Facing Movements, Senior ROTC Drill Card Sequences, Junior ROTC Drill Sequence, and a section on special ceremonies that apply to training environments as well as to the Operational Air Force. In all, you can select over 20 sequences by clicking on individual topics. You can use this DVD to review the material you want to teach in class or on the parade field. You can use it as a demonstration tool to show students or use individual videos to clarify specific points. Ensure that cadets and OTs pay particular attention to detail, listen to commands, and concentrate on precision and accuracy. You will find that this will make a difference in the way they perform. Check out the menus and their subheadings and get started. Like most aspects of military training, drill has a well-defined history that is rooted first in practicality and second in training. Ancient armies made up of masses of men were difficult to move on the battlefield without getting mixed up with other units. Unit flags helped, but massing troops and marching them in formation was a more efficient way to negotiate the field and keep soldiers together. These formations depended on discipline, which required practice or drill. The Romans perfected it, and Washington's Continental Army developed a drill manual, some of which is still in use today. Military training includes drill as a way to teach discipline and teamwork, a foundation of any good fighting force. And today's Air Force teaches drill to everyone, enlisted and officers alike. The following video includes correct drill formations and instruction on the important facing movements.
Good morning, I'm Tech Sergeant Johnson. I'm going to be with you for this next little block of drill instruction. What I want everybody to do, just real quick, look right there. See that? What just happened was all of you responded at the exact same time, looking the exact same direction when I said to. That is very similar to the drill movement you're going to learn this morning. Only instead of turning our head, we're going to turn our entire body. It is called a right face. This morning when I teach you right face, we're going to cover a lot of important information. We're going to talk about the requirements you must meet to perform the movement. We're going to talk about the commands you're going to hear, how to establish our pivot points, how to complete the movement, and also how to complete the movement one count at a time. But beyond that information, I need you to take it with you far past the drill class today. As long as there's been a military, there's been drill. So today you become a little piece of that enlisted heritage and our history. It teaches discipline, esprit de corps, how to respond to commands, but most importantly it helps us to respond as a team, work as a team, and then those looking from the outside in see that we are a disciplined unit and absolutely an Air Force that doesn't want to be reckoned with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull aside that team, and I'm going to represent every single person in a formation all at the exact same time. So you're going to use your imagination, pretend right here with me is an entire flight of people just like you. We're in any of the 4 formations, halted at the position of attention. As I perform this movement, I am every single person at the exact same time, no exceptions, but scan my entire body, paying particular attention to the lower portion of my body. Right face. I do want to make sure you get one more angle of the movement, so I'm going to actually turn my formation. Again, you're going to scan my entire body. I'm every single person in the formation at the exact same time, only this time I want you to pay particular attention to the upper portion of my body. Right face. As you can see, it is a very basic movement, very simple, not much to it. But it is very important that we understand how this movement is performed. In order to perform a movement, we have to meet certain requirements. Has anybody ever put together a puzzle? Excellent. You're going to see that when you put together a puzzle, if you're missing a piece, it doesn't look quite right. It's not finished. Same thing happens with drill. If you are missing a piece, then the drill movement doesn't come out correctly. The requirements we're going to meet to perform this movement is we can be in any of the 4 formations. Remember, we have column and line, and both those formations can be inverted. We are halted at the position of attention. The commands and the movement are performed at the cadence of quick time. If we were to count every step we took for a minute, we would be no slower than 100 steps a minute and no faster than 120. In order to perform this movement, we're going to receive commands. Those commands are right face. Right is what we call a preparatory command. We just prepare to actually perform the movement. There is no movement at that time. On the command of execution, which is face, is when we actually perform the movement. On the command of execution, we're going to establish pivot points. You need to understand that this being an individual drill movement, it has 2 counts, and we can perform those counts 1 count at a time. In order to perform count 1, on the command of execution face, we're going to lift the toes of our right foot. That establishes my first pivot point. That is the heel of my right foot. At the exact same time, I raise the heel of my left foot. That's going to put pressure on the ball of my left foot. So my pivot points are the ball of the left foot and the heel of the right. At the same time that that happens, our upper portion of our body remains at the position of attention. With our pivot points, heel of the right and ball of the left, I'm going to push with pressure from my left foot so that I turn my body 90 degrees to the right. Upper portion of my body remains at the position of attention. Once I face 90 degrees to the right, I plant my right foot so it's firmly on the ground. My left leg remains straight, but not stiff, it's not locked. My right foot, my 22.5 degrees off the center line of my body, means if I drew a line all the way down to the pavement, my right foot is planted 22.5 degrees. This completes count 1 of this drill movement. To complete count 2, I need to bring my trailing foot forward so I'm back at attention. At that time, my heels are together, that means they're touching, and they're on line. So if I were to place a board across the back of my heels, they both would touch, they are not staggered. That places my left foot also 22.5 degrees off the center line, bringing my feet to a 45-degree angle back at the position of attention. Since this is a 2-count movement, we can also perform 2-count movements 1 count at a time. What's going to happen is we're going to hear a new set of commands. It's called an informational command. I will give you the information of by the numbers. That lets you know all 2-count movements from here on out are going to be performed 1 count at a time. Then you are going to hear right. Again, that was our preparatory command. On the command of execution face, you're only going to complete count 1 of this drill movement. As you recall, this was count 1. My foot is now planted 22.5 degrees, my left leg is straight, upper portion of my body remains at attention. In order to complete count 2 of this drill movement, remember that was bringing our trailing foot forward, but we're going to hear another set of commands. We're going to hear ready, which is our preparatory command, and on 2, the command of execution, we will perform count 2 of this drill movement. We will continue to perform all individual drill movements 1 count at a time till you receive another informational command, which is without the numbers, at which time then we will continue to do all drill movements exactly 1 count after the other. This is what it's going to look like. I again represent an entire formation, all at the position of attention. Scan my entire body, pay particular attention to the lower portion of my body. By the numbers, right, pace. Red up, 2. Right, pace. Red up, 2. As you can see, I continue to perform all 2-count movements 1 count at a time. I do that until I receive the informational command of without the numbers. Without the numbers. Right, pace. It is important that I see that you understood what we learned in this lesson. So it's going to be your opportunity to actually perform the movement. Listen to the commands, respond to the commands, stay nice and locked up, stay at attention, and listen. Here we go. Hey! Attention! Wake up. Remember, on flight, everybody's going parade rest. Hey! Attention! Right! Hey! Come! Eddies! This is what we're going to do. First element and second element turn and face each other. 3 and 4 turn and face each other. Our first set, first element and third element. You are going to actually perform the movement. That means second element and fourth element, you're going to be watching them. Remember, we're not touching, we're making verbal corrections. 1 and 3 are responding to my commands, and 1 and 3 only. Guys, let's put this up. One and 3 only. 8! 10 shots! Remember, on by the numbers, I want to see just count 1. Coaches, you're going to be looking for pivot points and that hands stay pinned to their side. Legs are straight, but not locked. By the numbers. Right, hey! Watching them. Now remember, their right foot should be 22.5 degrees off the center line of their body. You're going to check their feet. Hands should be pinned. Thumbs down. Red up. 2. Check heels. Heels should be together and on line. Hands still pinned to their side. You should not be looking down. You should not be looking down. Coach is looking. Person performing the movement stays at attention. Just count 1. Right. Hey. Just count 1. Right foot planted 22.5 degrees. Left leg is straight, but not locked. Red up. 2. Heels together and online. Get the heels online there, coaches. Online. Bring yours back. Bring yours back. 1 count after the other. Coaches watch their hands. Without the numbers. Right. Hey. Right. Hey. Check heels. Feet should be 45. Close these up. Eddies. Now, coaches and pupils switch. 2 and 4, you're responding to my command. 1 and 3, you're watching and fixing. Hey! Boom. Should be a parade rest. 10 shot. 2 and 4 on me. By the numbers. Right. Hey. Wait for the command. Wait for the command. Left leg is straight. Red up. 2. Heels together and online. Palms in, thumbs down. You're not looking down. That's why you have a coach. Just count 1. Right. Hey. Right toes out. Left heel out. Turn your left heel out some. There you go. So your leg is straight. Knees not bent. Red up. 2. Without the numbers. Right. Hey. Pull your hands back. Don't let them come off. Heels together on line. Right. Hey. Eddies. Everybody face front, back to the guide. Guide on bear, grab it. We're going to put this all together, one big flight. If you listen, you can hear when everybody responds. Stand by. Hey. 10 shot. Shoulders back, chin up, chest out. Here we go. Hey. Move. 10 shot. Wake up. Let's try that again. Hey. Move. 10 shot. Right. Hey. Heels together on line. Left foot back. Left foot back. Heels together. And listen to each other. Right. Hey. Heels together on line. Feet 45. Eddies. First 2 down. For first time, absolutely awesome. But this is what I need you to concentrate on after you leave here. Your hands, too many hands are coming off your side. Remember, as we perform the movement, the upper portion of our body remains at the position of attention. concentrate on your hand staying tight to your side. When you actually perform the pivots, it's important that you plant that foot 22.5 degrees so that we actually end at the position of attention and our feet don't end up together, but actually at 45 degrees. But application went really well. Very important information we covered today. We talked about the command of right face, that there is a preparatory command and command of execution. We know how to establish our pivot points and what those pivot points are. It's important that we keep the upper portion of our body at attention when we perform the movement, and we learn how to perform this movement one count at a time when we receive our informational commands. How to also return to without the numbers once we have completed practice. Just remember that less than 1% of the U.S. population ever even spends a day in the military, but you are now sharing a piece of that history that made us the Air Force that we are, the military that we are. Just remember, when you're performing drill, you need to instill discipline, esprit de corps, your history, and it's more important that we respond to commands all at the exact same time and as a team and carry on a little piece of that history. 8, 10 times, fall out. As I demonstrate this movement for you this morning, I want you to remember a few things. One, I am every single person in the formation all at the exact same time. That formation I am in is any of the 4 formations. The commands are given at the cadence of quick time. Also, we respond at the cadence of quick time. As I perform the movement, I want you to scan my entire body, but pay particular attention to the lower portion of my body, especially my feet. Listen to the command so that later you know what it sounds like when you have to respond. About, hey! Now I'm just going to turn my formation so you see it from another angle. Once again, I am every person in the formation at the exact same time. I'm in any of the 4 formations, responding at the cadence of quick time. This time, though, pay particular attention to the upper portion of my body. About, hey! Most of you right now can break out and do that without me even teaching the class, just by watching it, but then I wouldn't be doing my job. In order to perform a drill movement, you have to have some basic parts. They're called requirements. Anybody ever put together a puzzle or a model car? If you are missing a piece, when you are done, it doesn't look right. Something is missing. The same thing's going to happen if you do not have all the requirements to actually perform a drill movement. In order to perform this drill movement, you already heard all the requirements. 1, I have to be halted at the position of attention. I can be in what? What kind of formation? Any of the 4 formations, we just heard that. I have to be responding at the cadence of quick time. Also, the commands are called at the cadence of quick time. For you to better understand that, cadence of quick time cannot be any slower than 100 steps or beats per minute. No faster than 120. That is basically the cadence that we march at anytime we're here on campus. For us to perform this movement, you're going to receive 2 different kinds of commands, a preparatory command and command of execution. On a preparatory command, we only prepare ourselves to actually perform the movement. We are halted at position of attention. What formation? Any of the 4 formations. And we're going to perform at the cadence of quick time. We're going to receive the preparatory command of about. That just lets us know which direction we're going. On the command of execution of face, we're going to slightly lift our right leg just enough to clear the ground. All the way to your body is going to be on the left foot. Anybody see daylight under my right foot?
No, ma'am.
That is how slight. You would not even tell that you just switched the weight of your body to the left foot. Once that happens, that right foot is going to go half a shoe back from the left foot and slightly to the left. When I'm talking about half a shoe, most of you wear what? 10, 12? Somewhere in there. So a half of your shoe is about this big. I only wear an 8, so a half of my shoe is not as big as your half a shoe. I cannot tell you you're going back exactly 3 inches or 6 inches. It is a half a shoe to you. So you may see 3 inches between my heel and foot, but yours may be a little larger. Please keep that in mind when you are making your half a shoe. Everybody good? So first off, we heard what kind of command? Preparatory command of about. On the command of execution of face, I lifted what leg? Right leg. It comes back half a shoe. But I also want to make sure that when you bring it half a shoe back, it is also slightly to the left of my left shoe. So my right foot is half a shoe back and slightly to the left of that left foot. This is going to create two pivot points. I'm going to balance on the ball of my right foot and the heel of my left foot. So my toes of the left foot need to come off the ground. This is all count one of an about face. Count two, I actually have to turn 180 degrees the opposite direction, turning to the right. I'm going to end at the position of attention. So count two, I establish pivot points. My right foot, what is my pivot point?
The ball
of the right foot. My left foot, what's my pivot point? The heel. So my left toes come up. Turn all the way completely around. My arms stay pinned nice and tight to my side. Upper portion of my body is still at attention. One more time. Any formation, halted at attention. Receive a preparatory command, do what? Prepare to perform the movement. Command of execution, I hear face. What foot moves? How far back? Half a shoe. Left foot, what's my pivot point? Left heel. That's count one. What's count two? 180 degrees the other direction. Heels will be back together and on line. Feet form a 45-degree angle. Your hands and arms at no time come off your side. Remain in position of attention. When we learned right face, left face, we also learned by the numbers that we can do all two count movements one count at a time. We just saw about face is another one of those two count individual drill movements, which means we can break it up. You're going to hear several commands. You're going to receive by the numbers. That now means every two count movement will be performed one count at a time. Then you're going to receive the preparatory command, about, which we do what? Prepare to perform the movement. When we hear the command of execution of face, we're only going to perform count one of the movement. Then you'll receive another set of commands. You're going to hear ready, do not respond at all. On two, we perform count two of the movement. Receive the command by the numbers, do nothing. About, do nothing. Face, count one, look just like this, you freeze. Ready, preparatory command, don't move. Two, perform count two. Count two is actually turning the rest of the way around. Arms and hands stay pinned nice and tight to your side. Make sure you understand, we also continue to perform all those two count movements, one count at a time, till receive the informational command of without the numbers. Then we go back to normal, one count after the other. We're going to go all the way back to our imaginary flight way at the beginning so that you see what by the numbers looks like. We're all halted at attention. Any of the four formations. Scan my entire body. I'm every person in the formation at the exact same time. Pay particular attention to the lower portion of my body. By the numbers. About, hey. Red up, toe. Now I'm just going to turn my formation. Listen to the commands. This time you're going to see without the numbers. Goes one count right after the other. Again, I'm everyone in the formation at the exact same time. Scan my entire body. This time, particular attention to the upper portion of my body, especially my arms. Without the numbers. About, hey.
I will demonstrate parade rest for you 2 times. Each time I represent everyone in the flight, all at the exact same time. This first time, I want you to pay particular attention to the lower portion of my body, mainly my feet. Parade rest. Flight. Attention. That's pretty simple. Let me show you one more time. This time I want you to pay particular attention to the upper portion of my body, mainly my arms and the position I put my hands in. Parade rest. Flight. Attention. That's movement in itself. Let's talk about some requirements for parade rest, because it's just like every other movement. Those requirements are, it must be performed within the cadence of quick time. And if you recall, that is 100 to 120 paces per minute. Also, the last requirement is you're halted at the position of attention. While you're at attention, you're going to receive some commands. Those commands are going to be parade and rest. Parade being your preparatory command, in which you absolutely do nothing. You mentally prepare yourself for the movement. On rest, you actually perform parade rest. You're standing at attention, you receive the command of parade, you mentally prepare yourself. You take no action. On the command of execution rest, you're going to lift your left leg from the hip so that your foot clears the ground. You're going to place it to the left of your right foot. At the same time, you're going to bring your hands to the back of your body, keeping your palms facing out the entire time. You're going to bring your hands to the rear of your body, keeping your arms fully extended, not bending your elbows. And you're going to ensure that you place your right hand in the palm of your left hand, forming an X with your fingers pointing down and your thumbs pointing down. You remain at this position of parade rest, motionless and relaxed. Make sure you don't lock your knees, keeping your legs straight but not stiff. You remain at this position until given another set of commands, and those commands are going to be flight and attention. On flight, you mentally prepare yourself and do nothing. On attention, you will go back to the position of attention by placing your left foot to your right foot and bringing your hands to the front of your body, cupping them in process with your thumb on the forefinger, resting that thumb on the seam of your trousers. Parade has flight. Attention. Present arms. I will demonstrate present arms for you 2 times. Each time I demonstrate it, I will be everyone in the flight all at the exact same time with no exceptions. This first time, I want you to scan my entire body, but pay particular attention to the upper portion of my body, mainly my right arm. Present arms. Order arms. This second time, I want you to pay particular attention to how far in front of my body my right arm is. Present arms. Order arms. Now let's talk about the requirements of the movement. Each movement has requirements, and present arms has 2. First off, you must be halted at the position of attention. Second, when you perform the movement, it has to be done in the cadence of quick time. That's 100 to 120 paces or beats per minute. Now that we know our requirements, let's talk about the movement itself. You're going to receive some commands. Those commands are going to be a preparatory command and a command of execution. Your preparatory command is going to be present. And on present, you prepare yourself mentally. You do nothing. The command of execution is arms. And on arms, you will actually perform the movement. So first, you must be standing at attention. That means your feet are at a 45-degree angle. Your hands are pinned to your side. On the command of execution arms, you're going to bring your hands slightly in front of your body. When the hand reaches waist level, you're going to uncup your hands and extend your fingers and join your fingers and place your thumb along the forefinger, keeping your palm facing your body the entire time. You're going to continue to raise your arm up until the upper portion of your arm is parallel to the ground and slightly in front of your body. You will then make a contact point with your middle finger tip and also making a straight line from your elbow to the tip of your fingers. The contact point that you will make when you have a billed cap on is the outside corner, the right outside corner of your billed cap. Now your palm is slightly towards your face and slightly towards the ground. You will hold this position until given order arms. So once again, you're standing with your contact point. Order is your preparatory command. You do nothing. The command of execution arms, you bring your arm back down the same path you took to bring it up, keeping your palm towards your body the entire time. As your hand reaches waist level, you're going to cup your hand and place your thumb on the forefinger and bring your hand back to your side so that your thumb rests along the seam of your trousers without slapping your sides. But let's say we have no hat on, or a cap with no bill. Your contact point is going to be the corner of your right eye. Once again, palm facing slightly towards your body and the ground. You will hold this position until given order arms. If you had no build cap on with glasses, your contact point would be the outside corner of the right side of your glasses. Once again, palm facing towards your body and towards the ground. You'll keep this here until order arms is given. Order arms! Present arms! Order arms!
The guidon has a long history of service on the battlefields of Europe. The word derives from the Italian and French languages and means marker or guide. The guidon was a highly prized symbol of the identity of ancient armies. It was often blessed before being carried into battle and served as a rallying point for the warriors. Today, the guidon identifies an Air Force flight and is carried at most unit formations. In the following video, a drill instructor demonstrates its proper use.
Right, haste.
Left, push. About, push.
About, haste.
Parade, test.
Hey, tense head.
Parade, test.
Hey, tense head. Hard. Tap. Huh. Eyes. Height. And tap. Huh.
Like most aspects of military training, drill has a well-defined history that is rooted first in practicality and second in training. Ancient armies made up of masses of men were difficult to move on the battlefield without getting mixed up with other units. Unit flags helped, but massing troops and marching them in formation was a more efficient way to negotiate the field and keep soldiers together. These formations depended on discipline, which required practice or drill. The Romans perfected it, and Washington's Continental Army developed a drill manual, some of which is still in use today. You are about to see a demonstration of each of the 5 Air Force ROTC individual drill evaluation sequences. Pay close attention to the initial positioning of the flight by the Cadet Flight Commander. This placement is critical to your overall successful completion of your chosen sequence card. Also notice how the Cadet Flight Commander adds a few supplemental commands into the sequence cards so that each command is given on the proper foot and location inside the evaluation area. Finally, in order to increase the effectiveness of your individual drill evaluation, you must use appropriate voice, pitch, tone, and inflection. This adds to your overall evaluation by enhancing the overall attentiveness to your commands. Remember, you are in command of your flight.
Charlie flight, fall in. Hooray!
Cadet Myers, front and center.
Flight 10 foot. Cadet Myers, front command center.
Cadet Myers reports as ordered.
Take control of the flight. Cadet Diedrich, request permission to return to ranks.
Turn ranks. Sir, Charlie Flight is ready for drill evaluation.
Cadet Myers, you have 60 seconds to review this card and ask me any questions. Any questions?
No, sir.
Execute the drill evaluation.
At my command, fall out. Charlie Flight, on! Right. Hey. With the exception of guide on bear and element leaders, if you're tall and cadet in front of you, tap on the shoulder and move forward. Right. Hey. With no exceptions, if you're taller than the cadet in front of you, tap on the shoulder and move forward. Left. Hey. With the exception of the guide on bear and element leaders, if you're taller than the cadet in front of you, tap on the shoulder and move forward. Up, out. Hey. Up, out. Hey. Away. Hey. Column left. Hey. Away. Hey. Light. Halt. Left. Hey. Away. Hey. Right, light, punch, light, halt. About, hey, away, punch, to the rear, punch, column right, punch, away, punch. Light, halt, left, hey, left, hey, away, hey, to the rear, punch, half step, punch, light, halt. Up, out. Hey. Away. Hey. To the rear. Hey. Right, right. Hey. Left, right. Hey. Light. Halt. Up, out. Hey. Away. Hey. Change step. Hey. Light. Halt. Right. Hey. Ready, set. Hey. All right. Hey. Right. Hey. Away. Hey. Right, right. Hey. Right, right. Sir, Charlie Flight has completed the drill evaluation.
Turn to the ranks.
Halt!
Bravo flight, fall in. Put ready, hit!
Cadet Myers, front and center.
Flight, put! Cadet Myers, front and center.
Cadet Myers reports his order.
Take control of the flight. Cadet Dietrich, request permission to return to ranks.
Return to ranks. Sir, Bravo Flight is ready for drill evaluation.
You have 60 seconds to look at this card. Let me know if you have any questions. Any questions?
No, sir.
Execute the drill evaluation.
At my command, halt! Bravo flight, halt! Right. Hey.
With the exception of the guided bear and element leaders, you're taller than the cadet in front of you. Tap on the shoulder and move forward.
Right. Hey.
With no exceptions, you're taller than the cadet in front of you. Tap on the shoulder and move forward.
Left. Hey.
With the exception of the guided bear and element leaders, you're taller than the cadet in front of you. Tap on the shoulder and move forward.
Right. Hey. Left. Hey.
Forward.
Quick. Right. Halt.
Forward.
Quick. Left flank. Quick. Left flank. Quick.
To the rear.
Quick. Column right. Quick.
Forward.
Quick. Right. Halt. Left. Quick. Up, down. Quick.
Forward.
Quick.
Change step.
Quick. Right flank. Quick.
To the rear.
Quick.
Column left.
Quick.
Forward.
Quick. Right. Halt. Right. Quick. Up, down. Quick.
has completed each drill evaluation.
Turn to the ranks.
Fire!
Go, flight! Fall in! Oh, ready?
Cadet Myers, front and center.
Flight, 10, up! Cadet Myers, front and center.
Cadet Myers, reports as ordered.
Take control of the flight. Cadet Giedrich, request permission to return to ranks.
Turn ranks. Sir, Gulf Flight is ready for drill evaluation.
Cadet Myers, you'll have 60 seconds to review this card and let me know if you have any questions. Any questions?
No, sir.
Execute the drill evaluation.
At my command, on!
Gulf Flight, fall in! Right. Hey. With the exception of the guidon bearer and element leaders, if you are taller than the cadet in front of you, tap them on the shoulder and move forward. Right. Hey. With no exceptions, if you are taller than the cadet in front of you, tap them on the shoulder and move forward. Left. Hey. With the exception of the guidon bearer and element leaders, if you're taller than the cadet in front of you, tap them on the shoulder and move forward. Forward. Hey. Column left. Hey. Forward. Hey. Light. Hold. Right. Hey. Right. Hey. Left. Hey. Left flank. Hey. Left flank. Hey. Left flank. Hey. Left flank. Hey. To the rear. Hey. Column right. Hey. Forward. Hey. Light. Hold. Left step. Hey. Light. Hold. Down. Hey. Forward. Hey. To the rear. Hey. Right flank. Hey. Right flank. Hey. To the rear. Hey. Column left. Hey. Forward. Hey. Half step. Hey. Light. Hold. Left. Hey. Reset. Hey. Hold up. Hey.
Turn to the ranks.
Hot.
Out flight. 10, put.
Myers, front and center.
Cap arms, front and center.
Cadet Myers reports his order.
Take control of the flight. Cadet, request permission to turn to ranks.
Turn to ranks. Sir, Alpha Flight is ready for drill evaluation.
Cadet Myers, you have 60 seconds to evaluate this card. Let me know if you have any questions. Any questions?
No, sir.
Execute the drill evaluation.
At my command, on! Alpha Flight, fall in! Right. Hey. With the exception of the guide on bear and element leaders, if you are taller than the cadet in front of you, tap him on the shoulder and move forward. Right. Hey. With no exceptions, if you are taller than the cadet in front of you, tap him on the shoulder and move forward. Left. Hey. With the exception of the guide on bear and element leaders, if you are taller than the cadet in front of you, tap him on the shoulder and move forward. Left. Hey. Right step. Push. Right. Halt. Right. Hey. Left. Push. Come left. Push. Left. Push. To the right. Push. To the right. Push. Come right. Push. Left. Push. Right flank. Push. Right flank. Push. Right flank. Push. Right flank. Push. Flank. Pull. Right. Hey. Left. Push. Sir, Alpha Flight has completed the drill evaluation.
Turn to the ranks.
Now, hey! Ready.
Lima Flight, fall in.
Parade. Cadet Myers, front center.
Flight change. Hut. Cadet Myers, front center.
Cadet Myers reports as ordered.
Take control of the flight. Cadet Diedrich, request permission to return to ranks.
Turn to ranks. Sir, Lima Flight is ready for drill evaluation.
You have 60 seconds to look at this card. Let me know if you have any questions. Any questions?
No, sir.
Execute the drill evaluation.
Hold up! Lima Flight, forward! Right. Hit. With the exception of the guidon bearer and element leaders, if you are taller than the cadet in front of you, tap them on the shoulder and move forward. Right. Hit. With no exceptions, if you are taller than the cadet in front of you, tap them on the shoulder and move forward. Left. Hit. With the exception of the guidon bearer and element leaders, if you're taller cadet in front of you, tap them on the shoulder and move forward. Left. Hit. Open right. Hit. Right up. Hup. Close ranks. Hit. Right. Hit. Left step. Hit. Right. Pull. Away. Hit. Column left. Hit. Away. Hit. To the right. Hit. Right flank. Hit. To the right. Hit. Change step. Hit. To the right. Hit. Right flank. Hit. To the right. Hit. Left flank. Hit. To the right. Hit. To the right. Hit. Left flank. Hit. Column left. Hit. Present. Order. Sir, Lehman Flight has completed the drill evaluation.
Return to the ranks.
Hooray! Hut! Flight! Change! Hut! Heading! Flight!
Like most aspects of military training, drill has a well-defined history that is rooted first in practicality and second in training. At the beginning of World War I, the old Army Air Corps drilled future pilots before it even had planes to fly.
Know what you're doing out of the corner of your
And today's Air Force teaches drill to everyone, enlisted and officers alike. For Junior ROTC, drill can be a challenging learning experience and build excitement for cadets. The competitions available can help a program reach new heights. The following video includes a demonstration of the Junior ROTC drill sequence.
Forward! Right! Hit! With the exception of the guide and the helmet leaders, if you're taller than the cadet in front of you, tap them on the shoulder and move forward. Right! Hit! No exception. If you're taller than the cadet in front of you, tap them on the shoulder and move forward. Left! Hit! Once again, with the exception of the guide and the helmet leaders, if you're taller than the cadet in front of you, tap them on the shoulder and move forward. Go! Count! Halt! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Left! Hit! Open ranks! Here! And up! Here! Close ranks! Here! Hey! Right! Catch hat! Present! Here! Order! Here! Parade! Here! Right! Catch hat! Left! Here! About! Here! Go! Forward! Right step. Huh. Hut, up, 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 hut, up, up. Right. Huh. Haul out.
Hires! Forward, hires! Left wheel, hires! Forward, hires! Color guard, halt! Sling, hard! Post! Uncase colors! Present hearts! Order hearts! Post! Present colors. Sir, the Silver Eagles Color Guard, pride of John J. Hyde, Texas 782nd Air Force Junior Reserves Officers Training Corps in San Antonio, Texas, is present for Color Guard drill. We will drill in accordance with United States Army Manual 36 3-21.5. Sir.
Continue.
Sir, yes, sir. Carry colors. Colors reverse, hard. Forward, hard. Left wheel, hard. Forward, hard. Colors reverse, hard. Forward, hard. Color guard, hold. Order, colors. Parade, has. Color guard, 10 hunt. Carry colors. Forward, hard. Right wheel, hard. Forward, hard. Right wheel, Left wheel, hurt. Forward, hurt. Left wheel, hurt. Forward, hurt. Color guard, halt. Present colors. Sir, the Silver Eagles Color Guard has completed the color guard drill. Request permission to depart the drill area. Sir!
Permission granted.
Sir, yes, sir. Carry colors. Sling hard. Halt. Present hard. Order hard. Case colored. Halt. Left wheel hard. Forward hard.
Retreat signals the end of the Air Force duty day. It actually started out in the 16th century as a drum call in the evening to give notice that the gates of the town or fort were closing and to alert sentries to begin issuing challenges. Today, the ceremony uses a bugle to signal the end of the duty day. It also serves as a time for paying respect to the flag of our nation and a reminder of our commitment to service. The retreat that follows is demonstrated by a group of officers in training.
Just right to the right. Just right to the right. Ready?
The flag-raising ceremony in the Air Force and other services is performed to demonstrate respect for this symbol of the United States, the freedom the country stands for, and the commitment to defend America. Drill instructors demonstrate the proper procedure for this respectful ceremony. The flag folding ceremony in the Air Force and other services is performed to demonstrate respect for this symbol of the United States and the freedom that this country stands for. Drill instructors demonstrate the proper procedure for this respectful ceremony.
Retreat! Sir, flag is secured.
The dining in, dining out represents the most formal aspect of Air Force social life. The origin of the military custom may reach back even before the Romans, when armies would celebrate battlefield victories with a feast. The tradition as we know it today is rooted in England, where feasts were practiced in the monasteries, then spread to the military when the officers' mess was established. British soldiers brought the practice to colonial America, and it was borrowed by George Washington's Continental Army during the Revolutionary War. The dining out format, where guests are invited, started in the U.S. Army Air Corps with General Hap Arnold and increased in popularity during the Air Corps Association with the British in World War II. Today, dining in, dining out in the Air Force celebrates tradition, enhances morale, and pays tribute to unit achievement and Air Force warriors. What follows are the major parts of an actual dining out ceremony, from the social hour to the grog bowl.
Color. Ho. Ho. Ho.
Night, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order. Huh. Color. Color curve. Huh.
Thank you. Lieutenant Pitts will give the invocation.
We ask, O Lord, that you would bless us, give us strength as we walk the path that you have set before us. Give us the endurance to see it through. Give us the humility in recognition that we are in reliance upon you always. We ask your blessing upon all who are gathered here today. We ask, O Lord, that you would bless this meal, bless our friends, bless us, O God. Be with us. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Pitts. The United States Air Force Commissioned Officer Training Class 0604 and Basic Officer Training Class 0605 Student Mess is called to order. Some formal toasting is now appropriate. You can find the appropriate toast responses in your program. Please charge your glasses. I propose a toast to the flag of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, I propose a toast to the Commander-in-Chief. To the President.
Mr. President, point of order.
The President recognizes First Lieutenant Miller.
Ladies and gentlemen, I propose a toast to the Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force.
To the Chief.
Mr. President, point of order.
The President recognizes Lieutenant Colonel Downston.
Ladies and gentlemen, I propose a toast to the Commander, Air Education and Training Command.
Here.
Mr. President, point of order.
The President recognizes Lieutenant Colonel Morris.
Ladies and gentlemen, I propose a toast to our sister services, the Army, Marines, Navy, and Coast Guard.
Here. The President recognizes Captain Powell.
Ladies and gentlemen, I propose a toast to the guests, friends, and family of Bot Class 0604, Bot Class 0605.
Here. Please be seated. Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, and students, permit me to extend a hearty welcome and a sincere thanks for your attendance at our dining out. I'm OT Major Jeffrey Adlin, the president of the mess for this evening. We're honored to have you share this very special event with us. I have the pleasure this evening of introducing the distinguished members at the head table. Please stand and be recognized when I introduce you. Our guest speaker, the Deputy Director, Directorate of Operational Capability, Requirements, Deputy Chief of Staff for Air, Space, and Information Operations, Plans and Requirements, Headquarters, United States Air Force, Washington, D.C., Brigadier General Andrew Dichter. The Commander, Air Force Officer Accession and Training Schools, Brigadier General Ronnie Hawkins, Jr. The Commander, Officer Training School, Colonel David Gerber, his wife, Louisa, and their children, Chris and Nicole. The Commander, 23rd Training Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Mark Morris and his wife, Debbie. The Commander, 24th Training Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Bruce Danston. my guest for this evening, my wife, Rebecca. Furthermore, it is my honor to introduce other special guests. The Vice Commander, College for Aerospace Doctrine, Research, and Education, Colonel Stephen Carey and his son Clark. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite your attention to the table at center stage. There is a group that cannot be with us tonight, for they have answered our nation's highest calling and have yet to return from the field of battle. This table is smaller than the others, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against their oppressors. The white tablecloth represents the purity of their response to our country's call to arms. The table is round to show that our concern for them is never ending. The single red rose, displayed in a vase, reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who have and continue to keep the faith. The hats from the 4 services depict an unknown face, representing no specific soldier. Marine, sailor, or airman. But all who are not here with us. The ribbon, prominently displayed on the vase, is reminiscent of the yellow ribbon worn on the lapel and on the breast of the thousands who bear witness to their unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting of arm missing. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. There is salt upon the plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait. Finally, their glasses are turned upside down, reminding us that our distinguished comrades cannot be with us to drink a toast or join in the festivities of the evening.
Mr. President, point of order.
The President recognizes First Lieutenant Miller.
President, I'd like to post toast in honor of former prisoners of war. This toast is silent and will be made with honor. The toast of hardy comrades were fallen from the skies, gently caught by God's own hand, and brought them on high.
Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I would like to introduce Colonel David Gerber.
Thank you. General Wood, General Mitchell, General Dicker, Colonel Hawkins, Colonel Tull, Colonel Hoover. Thank you for your outstanding support and presence to celebrate this graduation and inaugurate the OTS Heritage Program. A special welcome also to all of the Ravens and all those who are special guests and alumni, and to the friends and families of Basic Officer Training and Commissioned Officer Training Classes 05 and 04 respectively, as well as their senior officer guests, Colonel Byrd, Colonel Gibler, Colonels Donna and James Rose, and Colonel Mike Ainscough. Our country is at war, and I welcome you, our newest warriors and leaders, into the Officer Corps, the most powerful military force in the history of mankind. You've come a long way since your decision to serve and since you all stepped across the blue line on training day one. You've proven your fitness and your preparedness to take on the future responsibilities during our entire program, but especially during the capstone AEF exercises last week and this week, and your stunning performance during the Joint Military Athletic Competition. All I can say is I'm glad that we're going to be on the same side in combat, and I think I speak for the head table right now in saying that we would gladly trade places with you today.
Ladies and gentlemen, dinner is served.
He should have known better, and his face couldn't be redder. And I must point out, I'm not being mean, but Chaplain Blake violated rule number 16. I didn't understand the word. Very smart, correct. And I offer a step to make a rebuttal. I will always use my spoon for fear of being a buffoon.
Chaplain Blake.
Yes, sir.
When responding with a rebuttal, you should address the President. You will proceed to the garage immediately.
To the mess.
I invite your attention to the table at center stage. There is a group that cannot be with us tonight, for they have answered our nation's highest calling and have yet to return from the field of battle. This table is smaller than the others, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against their oppressors. The white tablecloth represents the purity of their response to our country's call to arms. The table is round to show that our concern for them is never ending. The single red rose, displayed in a vase, reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who have and continue to keep the faith. The hats from the 4 services depict an unknown face, representing no specific soldier. Marine, sailor, or airman. But all who are not here with us. The ribbon, prominently displayed on the vase, is reminiscent of the yellow ribbon worn on the lapel and on the breast of the thousands who bear witness to their unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting of our missing. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. There is salt upon the plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait. Finally, their glasses are turned upside down, reminding us that our distinguished comrades cannot be with us to drink a toast or join in the festivities of the evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of General William R. Rooney III, Commander, Air Education and Training Command, welcome to the Air University Change of Command Ceremony. I'm Major Ken Burnham. Before we get started today, I'd like to introduce some special guests we have in the audience. The wife of the Commander of Air University, Mrs. Debbie Regney. Welcome, Mrs. Regney. The wife of the incoming Commander of Air University, Mrs. Leslie Lorenz. To Lorenz's daughter, Mrs. Tracy Leshner, and her husband, Captain Jeremy Leshner. General Lorenz's brother, Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Lorenz, and his wife, Connie. The Mayor of Montgomery, the Honorable Bobby Bright. The Mayor of Prattville, the Honorable James Byard. We are pleased to have some of our former Air University commanders today. Lieutenant General Al Gillum. Lieutenant General Ray Furlong. And Lieutenant General Chick Cleveland. In addition, we have the spouse of Lieutenant General Stan Umstead, Mrs. Jean Umstead. In keeping with a time-honored tradition, the change of command is conducted to signify the formal change of leadership in an organization. Dating back to the time of Frederick the Great of Prussia, units developed unique flags with specialized colors and designs to represent their organization. When soldiers followed their leaders into battle, they kept sight of the flag, which served as a rallying point in the chaos of battle. The guidon indicated the position of the commander in the battlefield and accompanied him during ceremonies and was so incorporated in the change of command ceremony. The incoming commander accepts the flag, the symbol of the organization, in front of the unit so all may witness their new leader assume command. As it has throughout history, this symbolic tradition will serve as the key event to today's ceremony, as Major General Stephen R. Lorenz will assume command of Air University from Lieutenant General John F. Regney. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of ruffles and flourishes the national anthem sung by Tech Sergeant Derek Percival, and the invocation from Chaplain Colonel Howard Stendel. The Commander, Air Education and Training Command, General William R. Looney III. Our outgoing Commander, Lieutenant General John F. Regney, and our incoming Commander, Major General Stephen R. Lorenz.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, ere the home of the brave.
Let us all pray. Lord God, by your grace you nurtured and gifted General Regney, inspiring him to serve our nation with distinction. As he departs Air University for our academy, we pray that you would be his portion and strengthen all that is to come. Watch over him and his loved ones, that he may continue to serve you and our country with fidelity and honor. So also do we give you thanks for General Lorenz and the gifts he brings. We pray for our new commander, that he may continue after the manner of excellence which has characterized his military life. Provide him daily with the vision and inspiration to lead this intellectual center of air power thought, and grant us who serve under him the obedience and fidelity to make it a reality. May all we say and do in this celebration today give honor and glory to you as we seek a more peaceful and secure world. Amen.
Thank you, Sergeant Percival and Chaplain Stendal. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It's my pleasure to introduce the Commander, Air Education and Training Command, General William R. Looney III.
Thank you very much and good morning. General Regney, General Lorenz, fellow general officers, commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, our Montgomery and Maxwell civic leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a pleasure and privilege to be with you on this beautiful Alabama day, especially out here in this beautiful courtyard and area. You can just sense the legacy and history of our great Air Force that exudes from these aircraft, these facilities, and just the aura of Air University. We're here today, first, foremost, to recognize and celebrate the achievements of a great leadership team that has been at the helm of AU for the past almost year and a half. Lieutenant General John and Debbie Regney, and thank them for all they've done. And at the same time, herald the arrival and the opportunity for contribution that I know another great leadership team will make to Air University and to Air Education and Training Command, and that's Lieutenant General Select, and Leslie Lorenz. It is great to have these individuals on our leadership team in our Air Force. They have made countless contributions over their careers, and I'm excited about the opportunities that John and Debbie have as they head for the Air Force Academy, and Steve and Leslie as they become part of our team here at Air Education and Training Command. Air Education and Training Command has an extremely challenging, daunting, but exciting mission. And simply stated, it is to develop America's airmen today for tomorrow. And what I mean by that is that those hundreds of thousands of individuals that we have in our training and educational pipelines today, I know that within the next few years, the vast majority of them will be deployed somewhere in harm's way. And our challenge and our task and our mission is to ensure that we provide them the talents, the skills, the wherewithal, not only to almost perfectly execute the mission, but also have the skills and talents and wherewithal to return home to those who love them and care for them. That is quite a mission and quite a task. And every day we have 95,000 individuals that wear the patch of Air Education and Training Command at 13 major installations, just like this one here at Maxwell, accomplishing that mission in a spectacular fashion. And we do that by recruiting the force, training the force, and educating the force. And each and every one of those various facets of the mission are critical and interdependent. And here at Air University, the command is charged with the education of our force. And you have done a magnificent job of that. And it is one that lasts the entire spectrum of an individual's career, from those early years all the way to the final phases. Education is something that is ongoing and that must constantly be happening. We must learn the lessons. We must pass the lessons on. We must create the leadership that will take this Air Force further and faster than it has ever gone before. And education stimulates and fuels all of that. And so the mission here is critically important. And you have done a magnificent job, especially under the leadership of your current commander, Lieutenant General John Regney. You have reached out and touched over 500,000 plus individuals through on and off-campus education, through educational conferences, and through distance learning. Additionally, we have opened our doors and our homes to over 275 international officers from 77 countries, which has given us the opportunity to expose them to the America that we know, to our values, our beliefs, and most importantly, our spirit. A great, great opportunity. John and Debbie have made the most of that for our country and for our Air Force. Additionally, you all have prepared over 140 joint flag officers to go on to combat-related duties where they provide the leadership skills so critically needed by our forces. From an Air Force perspective, General Regney created a vision that has been embraced by all of us in our Air Force, and one which will have far-reaching impacts, and that is to create a true university here at Maxwell, one that takes a collection of schools and puts them together in one organization that synergistically feeds off each other, that leverages each other's capabilities and talents to create the center for critical air and space thinking. Why shouldn't it be here? From my perspective, this is where the intellectual capital of our United States Air Force is and resides. Not within the Beltway or some think tank thousands of miles from this location, which is the heart and soul of our Air Force. And I think it's a great vision. Much progress has been made to begin the work to achieve that vision, and I know Lieutenant General Lorenz is excited about the opportunity to continue to work in that regard. Also, another initiative is the fact that as we begin the force development of our future Air Force leaders, both on the enlisted and the officer side, Air University has stepped forward to say that we are the ones that would like to determine the educational requirements and opportunities that will be needed to develop that force.
And that has been embraced by the Air Staff. And you are a critical key member of that team that works towards the force development of our leadership for the 21st century. And then, of course, the final initiative of 32 that I wanted to talk about this morning that is also far-reaching is the one where we're going to combine the approach and the curriculum of commissioning our new officers to ensure no matter which source you come from, you are exposed to all of the same key lessons and key tasks. So when you pin on those gold bars, we all start at this very same level. Another challenging task, but one that has been taken on by Air University and has been done so well. And speaking of doing things so well, the ultimate litmus test for any organization is one of those objective inspections from your friends on the IG who are always here to help. And you had one of those recently. And you literally watered the eyes of the Air Education and Training Command IG as you walked off with 6 outstanding ratings and 7 excellent ratings out of a possible 13. As I understand it, the Air Base Wing received its first ever excellent rating in its history, and overall, Air University was rated excellent. An outstanding performance by all that were involved, and it certainly speaks highly not only of the professionalism and the performance of each and every individual that belongs to this great organization, but to the leadership of Lieutenant General John Regney. John and Debbie have been a great leadership team. They have taken Air University to new heights. They have given of themselves fully, and now they have the opportunity to start all over again one more time with another great challenge. And I can think of no one more suited, more capable. The time is right for the leadership team of John and Debbie Regney to go to the United States Air Force Academy and continue them on their path to greatness. And as you depart, we wish you both well, and we thank you so much for all of your contributions to Air University. And to our great command, Air Education and Training Command, because as you know, John served as the 2nd Air Force Commander in AETC for 4 years before coming to Air University. Now, one of the outstanding attributes of the United States Air Force is when we have a great leadership team leave, we've always got another one right behind and trail to come on board and continue the vector towards greatness. And that's exactly what we have in Lieutenant General Select Steve and Leslie Lorenz. Steve brings a wealth of experience from an operational background, a commander of squadrons and wings, and a senior leader on our air staff for the past 4 years, working the very difficult and challenging and sticky issues that we have been faced with as our Air Force transitions into the 21st century and goes through all of the transformational efforts that seem to be ongoing every single day. But at the end of the day, we have created an Air Force that is ready for the 21st century, that will take on those challenges. Steve has been a big part of that. We're excited about the fact that he and Leslie will join us at Air University, and we'll have the opportunity to make contributions and continue this path, this onward path that Air University is currently on. We look forward to all that you all will do. We thank you for the time and the effort that you will spend, and we are excited about you being on our team. Congratulations and welcome to Air University. It is exciting for me to be part of the Air Education and Training Command. It's exciting for me to be part of this great organization called Air University, for I do believe that the mission we have and the mission we accomplish every single day is one of the most critical missions of our United States Air Force, and that is to develop and grow our future. And that's what we do every day as we develop America's airmen today for tomorrow. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the Air Force Organizational Excellence Award. Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Air Education and Training Command, Randolph Air Force Base, Texas. Special Order Number GS-22. The headquarters, Air University, has been awarded the Air Force Organizational Excellence Award for exceptionally meritorious service from 1 July 2002 to 30 June 2004. Thank you, General Looney. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, Air University, Lieutenant General John F. Reagan.
Okay, the last speech here. I'm glad you took your seats. Good morning, everyone. General Looney, thank you for those kind words. Mayor Bright, Mayor Byard, former Air University commanders, the numerous general officers and distinguished visitors, and our civic leaders who made time to be here today. Men and women of Air University, good morning and welcome to this beautiful Chamber of Commerce Day in Alabama. Let me begin by saying what an honor it has been for me to command the Air University, and an opportunity that I have cherished since day number 1, 15 months ago. Our proud Air University predates the United States Air Force, and it has been and continues to be the vital education center for our United States Air Force, as well as our sister services, and to the international officers from the 77 allied countries from across the globe. If you look around this beautiful air park, you'll get a sense of where the Army Air Corps and the United States Air Force have been. But if you walk across this academic circle and into our classrooms here at Maxwell and across town at Gunter, or to our Air Force Institute of Technology at Wright-Patterson in Ohio, you'll get more than a glimpse of our exciting future in joint and combined operations, our high-tech aerospace systems, from below-ground missile silos through the medium of air and well beyond into near and deep space. But don't get enamored with these machines we have on static display here, because our Air Force's greatest strength resides in our people. And that is Air University's work, and that's our passion. Through our colleges walk our next generations of United States Air Force leaders. We take our mission very seriously, ensuring every one of our 188,000 students are expanding their horizons and leave better equipped to address the dynamic challenges that face our United States Air Force and our great nation. We do that by providing a rock-solid foundation of commissioning programs, military doctrine and education, technology and wargaming, and stretch our students' envelopes to critically think about the complexities of the employment of air and space power. As we depart, I'd like to acknowledge and sincerely thank our colleges, our commandants, our most impressive faculty, the can-do 42nd Air Base Wing, and our headquarters staff and my personal staff. All of you have been focused on moving Air University and AFIT forward, ensuring we are relevant and current to the needs of the Department of Defense, and producing such outstanding new lieutenants and graduates from across our university. I'd like to also thank you for enthusiastically taking ownership of our new vision, continuing as the Air Force's education center, but also striving to be recognized as its intellectual center on critical thinking for the employment of air and space power. Any cultural change requires open-mindedness and buy-in from the top to the bottom, and particularly at the grassroots level. And you've been magnificent stepping forward and helping us earn that new mantle. I'll tell you that command is always a treat, but what has made this command so special is the genuine and heartfelt support by the entire communities of Prattville and Montgomery. And I'll have to tell you, Mayor Bright, I had to list Prattville first because they cemented their #1 ranking in the state against Montgomery's finest last Friday night. So Mayor Byard has some bragging rights, so size doesn't matter here. You have welcomed Debbie and I and all of our military with friendship, support, and cooperation that is simply second to none. We will miss you, but know that your support and leadership is a given, regardless of who has the honor to command Air University and serve alongside of you. And rest assured that Air University will be in superb hands. Steve and Leslie Lorenz are a very special couple. and they will lead Air University and fit right in with the communities. All you have to do is teach General Lorenz how to golf. Steve, you already know that Air University is a very special mission whose stature is only enhanced by our off-base partners. I can't think of anyone else I'd rather pass the Air University flag to. Congratulations on your great escape from the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and our sincerest best wishes as you assume command. Well, it's time for Debbie and I to put Maxwell and Gunner into our rearview mirrors. Yet we leave with lasting memories and a whole host of new friends. Thank you for the privilege to command, for the honor of serving with you, and for the utmost genuine hospitality across this great state. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, General Looney will now perform the change of command ceremony, as command of Air University is formally passed from Lieutenant General Regney to Major General Lorenz.
Publish the orders.
Department of the Air Force, Headquarters, Air Education and Training Command, Randolph Air Force Base, Texas. Special Order Number G0024, dated 12 October 2005, under the provisions of Air Force Instruction 51-604, and effective 12 October 2005, Lieutenant General John F. Regney relinquishes command of Air University, Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama. And effective 12 October 2005, Major General Stephen R. Lorenz assumes command of Air University, Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama, by command of General William R. Looney III, Commander, Air Education and Training Command.
Sir, I assume command.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander of Air University, Major General Stephen R. Lorenz.
What a great day to be in Alabama. You have no idea how much it means to Leslie and I to be here. Mayor Bright, Mayor Byard, General Looney, General Regney, Debbie, people of the great state of Alabama, and to the people of the beautiful river region, men and women of Air University. It is so great to be here, especially after spending 4 long years in the Pentagon. This is the first day of the rest of my life. My and Leslie's association goes way back to the state of Alabama and to AU and to Maxwell. It started in 1954. I was 3 years old. My father was in 54 Alpha Squadron Officer School. I lived for 3 months in a motel outside the main gate. It had an arch on it. I think it's still there. Maybe it's been torn down. I don't know. 1970, my dad was in the class of 1971 from the Air War College. I came here when I was a cadet, and I visited him during Christmas. My brother, who was Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Lorenz, who's sitting right over there in the audience, was in 6th grade. You know, Jeff today, to me, represents all of the Expeditionary Air Force. He just returned from Iraq on Saturday. He has 7 combat tours and over 500 combat hours just in the last year. I'm very proud of my brother. In 1973, due to the luck of the draw, I was fortunate to be selected to go to pilot training in Selma, Alabama, at Craig Air Force Base. It was a great year, and for big weekends, we came to Montgomery and Prattville. In 1979, I was selected to go to 79 Alpha SOS class and my young daughter and her husband there, Jeremy and Tracy. Jeremy wasn't there yet. But my young daughter, we lived in muddy meadows in those trailers. Brings back fond memories. Leslie and I had a great time those 3 months. And since 2000 to this very day, I have been fortunate to have been selected by the Air Force to come here to every senior officer course there is. And I've really enjoyed the education that I have received as a senior officer in the United States Air Force. And as General Regney says, it starts when you're a second lieutenant and goes all the way to our current rank. When General Lunley called me and told me I was coming here, I had 4 thoughts that immediately rushed my head. First one is I have the honor and privilege of working for General William R. Looney III. You notice how that rolls off my tongue? Because when I've known him since 1970 and I had to learn his name with my chin in, standing at attention, in 15th Cadet Squadron at the Air Force Academy. We've served together over the years. We're War College classmates. We served on the Joint Staff together. We had a great time. And AETC is very blessed to have him as our commander. He's an expert fighter pilot, an expert in acquisition, an expert in space, and an outstanding leader who has enjoyed his entire career in the Air Force and wants everyone else to enjoy serving our nation. And that's a really great honor to be here with you, sir. Second, I get to follow in the footsteps of my college roommate, John Regney. Yes, we roomed together in the summer of 1970. He's the tall, good-looking one. That's how you can tell us apart. We and Debbie, the Lorenzes and the Regneys, have been close personal friends. It's just amazing that we both, it's worked out this way, that I replace him and hopefully fill his big shoes as the great commander of the great Air University here in Montgomery. He always has had a great vision. He's mentored me and taught me lots of things over the years. He's had a great vision, great leadership, great management. He's come up with a great plan for our Air University for the 21st century. Leslie and I intend to keep on the journey that he and Debbie set up for us for the future. And he followed in the footsteps of a lot of other great commanders of Air University, such as Generals Gillum, Generals Furlong, Generals Cleveland, and General Olmsted, and others that have preceded him. I hope that I can live up to the standards that you've set over the years, gentlemen. John has set the bar high for the 8 colleges, and he's made the Air University what it is today. It's in top shape and continues to produce the finest graduates, over 38,000 this year alone, to serve in our nation around the world fighting on the global war on terrorism. Third, Leslie and I are so looking forward to working with the great men and women of Air University, the civilians, the civilian faculty, the military faculty, the Guard, Reserve, active duty, the international officers, all great people dedicated to producing the best students and the best leaders for our Air Force. And it's going to be an exciting time for both of us to be here. Finally, Leslie and I are excited and looking forward to living, working, and making lasting friends here in Alabama and the River region. Alabama I've come back to it many, many times, has always been one of my favorite places. We are looking forward to getting to know each and every one of you and working closely with you from day to day. As I said before, it is so great to be in Alabama. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and remain standing for the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the formal portion of today's ceremony. We invite you to join us in the ballroom of the Officers Club to extend your congratulations to Major General and Mrs. Lorenz and enjoy some refreshments. Again, thank you for attending and have a great Air Force Day.
The battlefield in the modern world does not use the old formation combat that was popularized in the 16th century, but it left behind formation drill as an effective tool to teach discipline, teamwork, and esprit de corps. After basic training for Air Force enlisted and officer personnel, drill becomes a key part of ceremonial parades designed to celebrate special events in military life. A parade in the Operational Air Force honors the events it celebrates and reinforces our connection with our heritage. The following video includes some examples of actual parades.
commander is Officer Trainee Philip Murphy, hometown, Lubbock, Texas. The Gold Hawk Squadron is led by Officer Trainee John Langworthy, hometown, Tustin, Michigan. The combined Guardian and Falcon Squadron is led by First Lieutenant Andres Manera, hometown, Miami, Florida.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name. Having been appointed an officer in the United States Air Force. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Officers, dismissed.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to extend our thanks to the 32nd Reserve Squadron from Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska, for providing the RC-135 flyover for today's ceremony.
Today's lesson is going to be on the saber. First, I'll talk about the parts and the pieces of the saber. The saber is simply the sword. What holds the saber is a scabbard. That is the case that the saber goes into. To hold the scabbard to the body, you have a sword belt. It is called the baldric. You will attach the scabbard to the baldric by clipping over your hip. The hook is going to be at the tip of your hip. Adjust. The sword belt, if you're wearing a blue shirt, will go over the top of the tie. It will go over the top of the epaulets. This is how you properly wear the scabbard. First, we're going to talk about drill movements with the saber and the scabbard. Basically, nothing changes. Parade rest, at ease, present arms, and marching is all the same. However, standing at the position of attention. When you stand at the position of attention, the heels are still together, the feet are at a 45-degree angle. However, the scabbard is now down by your left side. You will place your hand in front of the scabbard so your thumb is still along the seams of your trousers. This is the position of attention. So nothing changes with it in the scabbard. However, things are going to change once we pull it out. To draw the saber is a little bit complicated. First, you need to know how to hold the saber. To properly hold the saber, what I'll have each and every one of you do is pull the saber out of the scabbard in any manner that you can get it out. Hold the saber in the left hand. Now your right hand is free. You will hold the saber in the right hand by using the thumb and the index finger. Place the handle and the webbing of the hand between the thumb and the index finger. It's almost like you're writing with a pencil. Your other three fingers, the middle finger will go behind the saber for stability and support. Your ring finger and your pinky finger will be cupped. As you hold this, your arm will be straight down. From your shoulder all the way down to your hand will be a straight line. Do not bend the elbow, do not bend the wrist. The left hand will be in front of the scabbard, as I mentioned before. Now that you know the carry saber position, you have to actually be able to draw the saber. To do this, you're going to receive commands. The commands will be officers, draw, sabers. Officers is an informational command. You will receive all these commands from the position of attention. When you receive that informational command of officers, you do absolutely nothing. On the preparatory command of draw, you will reach across your body with your right hand. At the exact same time, you'll grab the scabbard with the left hand just below the hook. Grab the handle of the saber with the right hand and begin drawing it out of the scabbard. You will draw it up until your arm is parallel to the ground. Note, my right hand is still in front of my left shoulder. I will hold this position until I receive the command of execution of sabers. On the command of execution of sabers, you will continue raising the right arm until the saber is pointed towards the sky. It will be at a 45-degree angle, and from the tip of the saber to my shoulder, my arm will form a straight line. After a brief pause and without bending the elbow in one smooth motion, you will bring the saber down till the blade touches the point of the right shoulder. At the exact same time, you will release the scabbard and place your left hand in front of the scabbard, and you are now back at the carry saber position. Now that I've explained how to draw the saber, why don't you see what it looks like at the cadence of quick time? Officers, draw! Sabers! Officers, draw! Sabers! From the carry saber position, you can receive further commands. The first command I'm going to teach you is parade rest. First, you must be halted at the position of attention. The preparatory command that you'll receive is parade. On parade, you mentally prepare yourself, but you do nothing. On the command of execution of rest, you will perform a parade rest just like you have before. Lifting from the left leg, you will bring the left leg 12 inches away from the right. Of course, that's measured from inside the heel. You'll bring your left hand back, make sure it's fully extended. Your fingers are extended and joined, and it's all the way down. Now here's where things change a little bit. We have to do something with the saber. Imagine for a moment that your thumb is a hinge. It is to the seam of your trouser. Do not move that hinge. You are going to decline the saber down until the blade is 6 inches off of the ground. It'll be at a 45-degree angle. Note, my thumb is still back by the seams of my trousers. The blade will be in a slicing motion. This is the position of parade rest. Of course, from parade rest, there's only one command that you can receive, and that is attention. The preparatory command will be flight. The command of execution will be attention. On the command of execution of attention, you'll retrace those steps. The left foot goes back in front of the right. The left hand goes back in front of the scabbard, and with a flicking motion of the wrist, keep that thumb just as your hinge right there at that pivot point. Flick the wrist up until the blade is back at the point of the right shoulder. Again, you are back at the carry saber position. Now let me show you what that looks like at the cadence of quick time. Parade, hist, fight, tension. Another set of commands that you can receive would be at ease. I'm going to show you this command, and you're going to see exactly how easy it is. At ease, fight, tension. From that visual, you can see there's absolutely nothing different between parade rest and at ease. Key points again, ensuring that the blade is 6 inches off the ground and in a slicing motion. One more drill command I want to teach you. Present arms. Present, of course, is going to be your preparatory command. Just like any other movement, we must start the carry saber position at the position of attention. On the preparatory command of present, this is key. Always say it, then do it. Do not try to perform this movement while you're actually saying the command. Wait for the command to be over before you perform the movement. So say, then do. On the preparatory command of present, you're going to bring the saber up so that the globe is 1 inch to touching the chin. The globe is the little round piece at the very base end of the handle. At the same time, ensure your right arm is tucked all the way in, almost like a boxer that is trying to protect their ribs. If you notice, my saber blade is flat. It is not slicing, and it's a nice flat motion. It is also at a 45-degree angle off of my body. My left hand is still in front of my scabbard at the position of attention. I will hold this position until I receive the command of execution of arms. Upon receiving the command of execution of arms, I will lower the saber with snap until the handle is touching the seam of my trouser. Where my thumb used to be, the handle is now in that position. My saber blade is flat. The tip is 6 inches off the ground, just as it was during parade rest. The only command that you can receive from here, of course, would be order arms. The preparatory command will be ordered. Just like present, make sure that the command is over before you perform the movement. Do not perform it as you are saying it. Once you receive that command of order, you will flip the saber to a slicing motion. Now you look just like you did during parade rest. So, with a flicking motion of the wrist on the command of execution of arms, you will smartly bring the saber blade back up to the point of the shoulder. Again, it's just like that thumb being that hinge. So from the command of order, when you flip, you reestablish that hinge that I was talking about before, and that is key. All the motions come from the wrist. Now that I've explained it, let me show you present and order arms at the cadence of quick time. Present, arms. Order, arms. Of course, now you know what to do from the position of attention and the commands that you can receive. However, let's talk about marching. As you march, everything stays the same. Do not, it is key, do not grab a hold of the scabbard. Let the scabbard go. If you march at the position of attention with your chin up, your chest out, your shoulders back, that will help limit the movement of the scabbard. Your arm swing will still be the same. It'll still be 6 inches to the front, 3 inches to the rear, swinging, natural, coordinated arm swing. As you swing your shoulders, ensure that the blade stays in contact with the shoulder at all times. It's almost like a sawing motion. Once you get moving, there are some commands that you can give while in motion. These commands are eyes right and ready front. I will show you what these commands look like. Note, however, you have the sabers, so you have some action that must be done. The commands of eyes right are given as the heel of the right foot strikes the ground, but the action with the saber will be done as the left foot strikes the ground. I will explain. As your right foot strikes the ground, you will turn your head and eyes 45 degrees to the right and command eyes. You will continue to march. As the heel of the left foot strikes the ground, you will bring the saber up to the present position. Keeping your head and eyes turned, the globe will be 1 inch to touching the chin. Remember, just like present arms, your elbow is tucked in like you're protecting your ribs. The blade is flat. It is at a 45-degree angle. There's a 3-step delay between the preparatory command and the command of execution. This is 1 step, 2, 3. The very next time the right heel strikes the ground, you will give the command of execution of right. As you give that command of execution of right, with the left foot, again, saber motion is on the left foot, you will smartly bring the saber down to the arm's position. Note you now have coordinated arm swing. The right arm is forward, the left foot is forward. Keep your head and eyes turned 45 degrees to the right. As you are marching, you need to keep the blade 6 inches off the ground. To keep the blade 6 inches off the ground, you are going to perform a vacuuming motion. Ensure that your elbow stays straight. Swing from the shoulder, and the bend motion will be from the wrist. Flex at the wrist. This will allow the blade to stay 6 inches off the ground. After you complete your pass and review, you need to get your head back to the front. The way you do that is you'll be giving the commands of ready front. These commands will be given as the heel of the left foot strikes the ground. If you think about it, your head is going back to the left. That is why the commands are given on the left. However, just like eyes right, since the commands are given on the left, the action of the saber will be done on the opposite foot, which will be the right. So as you step forward, as the heel of the left foot strikes the ground, you will give the preparatory command of ready. As you give that command and the heel of the right foot strikes the ground, you will flip the saber from a flat motion back to a slicing motion. 3-step delay. 1, 2, 3. As the heel of the left foot strikes the ground again, you will give the command of execution of front. On the right foot, all the action takes place. At the exact same time, you will bring the saber back up to the tip of the right shoulder, and your head and eyes will snap 45 degrees back to the front. Now that I've explained it to you, let me show you what that looks like at the cadence of quick time. Eyes! Height! Right up! Huh! Eyes! Height! Right up! Huh! Now that you've learned what to do with the saber, we need to talk about how to return it back to the scabbard. Again, you'll start at the carry saber position and you'll be at the position of attention. The commands that you will receive are officers, return, sabers. Officers, again, will be that informational command where you just mentally prepare yourself. On the preparatory command of return, you are going to bring your right arm across your body. Note, my right hand is in front of my left shoulder. The blade is straight up and down. My forearm is parallel to the ground. At the exact same time, I will grasp my scabbard right at the very top, right at the neck or the opening of the scabbard. And I will hold this position at a 30-degree angle. On the command of execution of sabers, I will release my fingers. Note, you are not going to drop it. Release your fingers and allow the saber to rotate over the thumb, catching the saber when it's pointed straight down at the ground. Without looking at the scabbard, you will draw it across your hand and place it into the scabbard and bring it down until the arm is parallel to the ground. Again, my right hand stays in front of my left shoulder at all times. Note that my hand is flat, facing straight down. I will hold this position until I receive further commands of ready cut. Upon receiving the command of ready cut, you will thrust the saber into the scabbard, releasing your left hand and placing it back in front of your body. Do not ride the saber all the way back in the scabbard with the right hand. Thrust it. You are now back at the position of attention. Officers return. Sabers. Ready? Cut.
Right. Cut. Right. Attention. Left. Cut. Right. Cut. About. Cut. Eyes. Cut. Prepare!